Ladies and gentlemen, dreamers and doers, today I stand before you to remind you of a truth that Napoleon Hill etched into the fabric of success itself. Wealth is not just something you acquire, it is something you attract by the person you become. You may not have millions in the bank yet. You may not be driving the car of your dreams or living in your ideal home, but none of that matters, not yet. What matters is this: the signs that you're already on the path to wealth. And if you recognize these signs in your life today, take heart, because riches, both spiritual and material, are already making their way to you. First, you have a definite chief aim. You're no longer drifting. You know what you want. You've written it down. You visualize it every morning. That clarity of purpose is rare. Most people don't know what they truly want, but you do, and because of that, the universe has something solid to work with. Second, you've begun to think for yourself. You're no longer controlled by fear. You've realized that the thoughts you hold in your mind create your reality. That is the first law of success. Napoleon Hill said, "Oh, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve." You started planting seeds of belief instead of fear, and those seeds are growing. Third, you've built persistence. You no longer quit when things get tough. You see failure for what it is: a temporary detour, not a dead end. Every setback you face sharpens your character and your focus. You keep going because you know success belongs to those who refuse to stop. Fourth, you've surrounded yourself with the right people. You understand the power of a mastermind, a group of people who support, inspire, and push each other toward their goals. You've left behind the doubters and the dream killers. You're no longer alone. You're in alignment with a force far greater than yourself. Fifth, you now believe wealth is your birthright, not in arrogance, but in awareness. You've let go of the belief that wealth is only for others, only for others. You understand that riches, success, happiness, they begin in the mind. You're beginning to feel worthy, and that shift in belief changes everything. So if you see even one of these signs in your life, you are not failing. You are forming. You are not behind. You are becoming. Stay the course, because wealth is not just a destination, it's a mindset, it's a journey. And you, my friend, are already on it. Clarity of purpose is the foundation upon which every fortune is built. Without it, energy is scattered, actions are misaligned, and time is wasted on pursuits that do not serve the bigger goal. But when a person discovers their definite chief aim, the one goal that lights their soul on fire, they unlock a source of power that propels them forward regardless of obstacles. Napoleon Hill emphasized again and again that all wealth begins with a clear and specific purpose. It is not enough to wish for money or success vaguely. One must know exactly what they want and why they want it. Clarity transforms a dream into a target. A vague wish becomes a burning desire when it is written down, visualized, and pursued with intent. A person with a definite chief aim wakes up with direction. Their days are not dictated by reaction, but by intention. Every decision, every habit, every opportunity is filtered through the lens of that purpose. This kind of focused living creates momentum. It draws resources, people, and opportunities into alignment with the goal. The universe responds to clarity because it reflects belief, and belief is the energy that commands results. People who lack clarity often jump from one thing to another, never building enough momentum in one direction to see success. But those with clarity become magnets for the very things they seek. Clarity of purpose is not just about having a goal, it's about having a reason. When your purpose is tied to something bigger than material success, when it's rooted in your values, your mission, your passion, then no setback can stop you. You don't give up because your purpose means too much. You don't quit because your goal isn't optional, it's necessary. This kind of purpose fuels extraordinary persistence, is what turns average people into wealthy ones. Clarity also creates confidence. When you know what you want, you stop second guessing. You act with courage because doubt is replaced by direction. Every step feels purposeful. Purposeful. Even mistakes become learning tools because they're on the path to something you clearly understand. This inner certainty radiates outward and attracts trust, support, and investment from others. People are drawn to those who are clear about their vision because clarity is contagious. Without clarity, It's easy to become discouraged. Setbacks feel meaningless. Hard work feels wasted and doubt creeps in quickly. But when the purpose is crystal clear, every struggle feels like a necessary part of the process. You begin to trust the journey because you know where you're headed. Wealth doesn't come to those who wander. It comes to those who decide. Those who take the time to get clear on what they want, why they want it, and how they intend to get it. First and most vital sign you're on the path to wealth. Everything else grows from there. Wealth begins in the mind, and the first step is learning to think independently. Most people follow the crowd. They accept what they're told about money, success, and opportunity without ever questioning it. They inherit beliefs from family, absorb fears from society, and live by limitations they never chose. Napoleon Hill warned us of the danger of this hypnotic rhythm, the mental trap that keeps people stuck in mediocrity simply because they never learn to think for themselves. To build wealth, you must break free from that rhythm. You must challenge the assumptions that have been handed to you. If you've been told that money is evil, that rich people are greedy, or that success is for the lucky few, you must question where those ideas came from and whether they've helped or hurt your progress. Independent thinking means you stop accepting things at face value and start investigating truth for yourself. You examine your beliefs and ask, does this serve the future I want to create? They choose their thoughts deliberately. They don't let the evening news, the gossip around them, or the fears of the masses control their mindset. They fill their minds with ideas that empower them. They seek knowledge, not opinions. They value growth, not comfort. This kind of thinking separates them from the average person. Independent thinkers also take responsibility. They stop blaming the economy, their upbringing, or their circumstances. They say, I may not have created these conditions, but I will choose how I respond to them. This shift in thinking from victim to creator is a sign of mental wealth. Because once you understand that your thoughts shape your results, you become the architect of your future. To think independently is also to vision. You see possibilities where others see problems. You create solutions instead of waiting to be rescued. While others panic, you stay calm. While others complain, you plan. While others chase trends, you build long-term value. That's how wealth is created, not by reacting to life, but by directing it. This journey doesn't happen overnight. It requires awareness, discipline, and courage. You'll face resistance from those who fear your change. You'll be misunderstood. But if you stay committed to mastering your mind, your external world will begin to reflect your internal growth. Napoleon Hill taught that the most powerful asset we possess is our ability to think independently. Every wealthy person you admire once stood where you are now, facing limiting beliefs, surrounded by doubt, and they made a decision to think differently, to rise above fear, to believe in their own power. When you start thinking independently, you stop living by default and start living by design. That shift is the foundation of all wealth, because the world does not reward conformity. It rewards creativity, courage, and the boldness to think differently. And the moment you begin to do that, you're already on the path to riches, both within and beyond. Persistence is the invisible force that transforms struggle into strength, setbacks into strategy, and failure into foundation. Most people give up when they meet resistance. They think a closed door means the end of the road. But those who build lasting success know the truth. Struggle is not a signal to stop, it is a test. And persistence is the answer. Napoleon Hill observed this in every successful person he studied. They were not always the smartest, the most talented, or the most fortunate. But they all had one thing in common. They refused to quit. Persistence became their secret weapon. They turned their hardest moments into turning points simply because they kept going when others gave up. Struggles are inevitable on the path to success. You will face failure, rejection, disappointment, and doubt. You will make mistakes, experience losses, and question your ability. But none of these things can defeat you unless you choose to stop. That is the key. You are never truly defeated unless you quit. Persistence means you keep showing up again and again. even when the reward isn't immediate and the results aren't obvious. Every time you persist through struggle, you grow, you gain mental toughness, you develop emotional strength, you learn lessons that can't be taught in books. Each challenge becomes a stepping stone, lifting you higher than before. Where others see obstacles, the persistent person sees opportunity. They use failure as feedback, not finality. They extract value from pain and turn it into progress. Persistence also builds belief. The more you push through, the more you begin to trust yourself. You realize that you can handle difficulty, that you can recover from setbacks, that you are stronger than your excuses. This self trust becomes unshakable, and that confidence begins to show in every area of your life. People notice. Opportunities appear, doors open, not by luck, but by your refusal to stop knocking. Persistence is not blind effort, it is intelligent repetition. It is adjusting your energy without abandoning your goal. It is learning, evolving, and pressing forward even when the world says you shouldn't. It is falling down 10 times and standing up 11. It is understanding that the universe rewards those who stay in motion. Most people quit just before their breakthrough. They give up one failure too soon. But the persistent person understands. The darkest moments often come right before the light, so they keep moving, keep believing, and keep fighting for their vision, not because it's easy, but because it's worth it. Success does not belong to the lucky, it belongs to the relentless. It belongs to those who see struggle not as the end, but as a beginning. It belongs to those who use every hardship as a stepping stone to climb higher. So if you're struggling right now, don't stop. Persist. Because every step you take through difficulty is bringing you closer to greatness. The people you surround yourself with have a powerful influence on the direction of your life. Whether you realize it or not, your environment is either pulling you forward or holding you back. Napoleon Hill emphasized this truth through the concept of the mastermind group, the idea that success is rarely achieved in isolation. Your network is more than just a group of people you spend time with. It is a mirror reflecting your mindset, habits, ambitions, and ultimately your future net worth. If you consistently associate with individuals who are negative, unmotivated, or stuck in scarcity thinking, it becomes almost impossible to maintain a mindset of abundance, action, and progress. Their fears will become your fears. Their doubts will cloud your vision. Their excuses will seem reasonable. You may have dreams of wealth, but your environment will silently convince you to settle for less. Instead of being jealous of someone else's success, you celebrate it because their gain is not your loss. Abundance thinkers know that success is not a pie with limited slices. There is more than enough for everyone. And by celebrating others, you raise your own vibration and attract more of what you want. This mindset creates a powerful energy. People can feel it. Opportunities respond to it. Abundance flows to those who believe it is possible. Scarcity creates fear and blocks creativity. Abundance fuels imagination and unlocks new possibilities. When you believe there is always a way, your mind starts to find it. When you believe wealth is within reach, your actions align with that belief. One of the most overlooked aspects of abundance is gratitude. Gratitude is proof to the universe that you already recognize wealth, even if it hasn't fully materialized. The more thankful you are for what you have, the more open you become to receiving more. Gratitude tells the world, I see the good, I welcome the good, and I'm ready for more. Belief in abundance is not naive, it is courageous. It takes strength to believe in something before it appears. But that is how all great wealth is created, by people who saw it in their minds before they held it in their hands. So, if you want to attract abundance, start by believing it's already on its way. Walk with faith, act with purpose, and carry the energy of a person who already has everything they need. Because in truth, they do, and so do you. And so do you.